I am so excited because I am back in the Chobe with Pangolin and I'm about to pick up guests and head out on their brand new houseboat for a incredible safari adventure. Let me take you guys along.
Once all the guests had arrived in Kasane, we headed down to the Chobe River, which divides Botswana and Namibia, and drove across to the Namibian side to enter through the border post, which usually is quite a quick and easy process. And then after that, we could head to the houseboat, which is docked on the Namibian banks of the river.
First, so excited to be here. Honestly, I don't know if photos and videos make this boat justice. It's so stunning. I am so excited to be staying here for the next 3 nights. Being on the river is absolutely magical. Oh, this is awesome. Let me show you my favorite parts. Here's a little secret door. And look at this coffee station. Those of you who have followed my channel for a while, you know that I love coffee, so this, my favorite part.
But wait, not only is she beautiful to look at, but she's also completely run on solar electricity, with 16 solar panels placed on the roof, harvesting energy from the African sun and running everything from the engines that steer the boat to the plug points that charges your camera batteries. While staying on the houseboat, we conduct our morning and afternoon safaris on the specially designed Pangolin photo boats, and being out on the boats open up such incredibly unique photo opportunities that you simply just can't get from a vehicle.
Good morning, people. Honestly, waking up on the river on the houseboat is one of the most magical things. Yeah, it's because you're in the national park and you're on the river, so you literally step off the houseboat onto the photo boat that we take out for game viewing and for photography. It's truly magical.
During the mornings out on the boat, we're mostly focusing on birds because this is arguably the best time to photograph them. And although it's winter and it's only the resident birds that are around, that doesn't mean there's a lack of birds, especially if you know the right spots to look for them. We also spent one morning with a lovely troop of baboons warming up in the morning sun. And they gave us some great opportunities to play around with different photo techniques like rim light, for example. We were also very surprised to find 2 zebras swimming across the river the one morning, which is not something you see very often. And one morning we even found the elephants crossing the river in front of the houseboat as we were coming back for breakfast. So as we get back from the morning drive, we have a really nice brunch as we get back, and then it's time for some chilling. Everyone has time to back up their photos and charge both their camera batteries and their own batteries and take it easy for a little bit. This is when I'm always backing up my cards and charging my camera batteries, and I always recommend my guests doing that too. And then I also like to do lectures now in between the activities. So the first 2 days I do 2 different lectures, one on the more technical sides of photography, going through all the different settings that are good to be aware of and explaining all the technical sides depending on where people are in their photography journey. And then on the second day I like to do a lecture on more composition, light and the creative side of photography. And I like to do that so that you're just on the same page with all the different terms and stuff, so that when we're actually out photographing the wildlife and there's a lot going on, people actually know what I'm talking about and understand the different terms that I'm using as I'm teaching out on the activities. And then for the rest of the trip, during the day, we do a lot of editing and photo reviews and all of that kind of stuff, and a lot of feedback on the guests' photos, and I help them work with the photos that they have captured during the trip. So that's what we do now during the day, and then after that we'll be heading out for our afternoon activity. The afternoons generally provide opportunities for bigger animals such as elephants and buffalo and different types of antelopes that come down to the river to drink on the hot afternoons. The Chobe River is also by far the best place I've been to photograph crocodiles and hippos, for maybe obvious reasons. And we were even lucky enough to have this incredible sighting of 2 crocodiles performing their mating display. And last but definitely not least, the Chobes, where I personally think you get the most incredible sunsets and the best silhouette opportunities. After 3 incredible nights on the houseboat, it was time to head on to our next destination. So we headed to Kasane Airport to jump on a smaller bush plane and fly all the way to the Okavango Delta. Next stop, the Delta! This year, the Delta has experienced exceptional floods. So we actually had to take a boat to get to our camp because it just wasn't accessible by car. And honestly, I wish this could be the standard because this was so much fun.
Wow! Thanks guys, that was amazing.
And then we just had a short 5-minute drive to one of my absolute favorite camps, Shindy Footsteps, where a warm welcome was waiting us. In the Delta, it was now time for game drives, both exploring the incredible landscape that is very different from the Chobe, but also mostly looking for more land-based animals, as antelopes and different birds that we haven't seen in Chobe yet. The Okavango Delta is by far one of the best areas to try to see wild dogs, but still, nothing is ever guaranteed. However, we were in big luck because when we arrived, our guides told me that there was a wild dog den on our property. Lions was also something that all the guests really wanted to see. But because of the extensive floods that the Delta have had this year, it makes it even more difficult to find the elusive cats. The water creates these little islands, and if you don't have the lions on your specific islands, the chance of seeing them reduces massively. However, luck was definitely on our side, and after seeing tracks on our first day, we knew it was worth looking for them. And wow, did they give us an incredible show when we finally found them. Wow, the Delta has really provided us with some spectacular moments. I don't think I was expecting it to be this productive with these floods that have been this year. And when we arrived, the guides said that they hadn't seen lions for a while, so I was not expecting lions. And then it just shows with a bit of patience and some great guiding and quite a lot of luck, you can be rewarded with some incredible sightings. And this morning, true magic, true magic. And now we have earned ourselves a cup of coffee, so we've stopped here under some beautiful trees. Gonna grab a cup of coffee before we start heading back to camp again. So as you can see, the days in the Delta were filled with adventures, navigating through the floodplains, looking for animals. And then we would come home at night, going to bed, listening to the sounds of the bush. Included in this itinerary with Pangolin is also a 30-minute helicopter ride over the Okavango Delta, which is one of the most spectacular things you can experience. having spent most of our time either on the water or surrounded by it, it was now time for us to explore an area with very little water. So after a beautiful goodbye from the Shindi Footsteps team, it was time for us to head on to the Kalahari Desert. We have just gotten to camp. We're staying at Kurandani's Danaka here just outside the central Kalahari, and I am so excited to be back here. I absolutely love the Kalahari. I don't know what it is about this place, but it is true magic for me. Obviously, all of the ecosystems that we have visited during this trip have something really special, and obviously water has been a big aspect. We have stayed on the water and we have driven through the water and been surrounded by water, but then here in the Kalahari there's very limited water, so it just makes this place very unique in this itinerary. Last time I was here it was in green season and they had some incredible rains this year, so it was the greenest that most of the staff here had ever seen it, which was really amazing to experience. But obviously the desert was very, very different. I did make a vlog from that time, so if you want to check that out, I'll link it up here. So now being back when it's actually dry season, it feels a lot more like the real desert this time. Very excited to see what we might see out there. I'm sure this trip is going to finish on top, being here at Danaka in the Kalahari.
I understand you are keen on photography. Whenever the view is not good for you, please let me know. I can always maneuver the vehicle for the better angle. Good. Otherwise, a happy holiday.
Here in the Kalahari, we got to see some new species that are unique to this area, like springbok and Houseboat, or oryx for those who know that name better. Also some better views and more photographic opportunities of some animals we had already seen, like black-backed jackal, wildebeest, and my favorite animal, kudu. We also spent one morning in the underground hide that they have here at Danaka, photographing all the different birds that would come down to the water to drink. Because it actually gets really warm during the day, and then as soon as the sun drops it gets a lot cooler and the temperatures drop dramatically. So when you're heading out on an afternoon drive, even though you would prefer to be in t-shirts and shorts, you know it's gonna get cold later, and you make sure you've had all your jackets and jerseys with you. Although we had already had some incredible lion sightings in the Delta, the Kalahari really spoilt us with lions.
Oh my word. The Kalahari really gave us a goodbye show. This morning was absolutely magical, and I don't think we could have wished for a better game drive to finish this amazing safari. We've had so many incredible lion sightings this trip, but the one thing that we haven't seen is a big adult male. Yeah, so finishing with that was a real treat. It's sometimes like the bush just knows exactly what you need to make your day and make your safari just that much greater. Now it is time for us all to say goodbye, which is always quite bittersweet. This has been such a fun group to host. We've had so much fun, laughed a lot, had a lot of inside jokes, and yeah, just a really great group of people that I've really enjoyed hosting. So it's been amazing. And then obviously we've had an incredible safari in these 3 really unique, amazing photographic locations. So I've truly enjoyed it. The greatest news is that I am coming back doing the safari several times next year, while also doing other safaris in Botswana through pangolin. So if you're keen to join me next year in this beautiful country and experience things like this, then check out the details in the link below, and maybe I'll see you in Botswana next year. But regardless, if this has inspired your next safari, or if you've just enjoyed watching this video, as always, I truly appreciate all the support from you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.